Good afternoon, I guess, since everybody's in here now. Thursday afternoon, show's about to be over. And so we did get both Ubiquity videos at least started this year at WISP America 2017. And we've got James from the AirMax team to talk about some of their new products and touch on a few other things.
Sure. So my name is James Craig. I'm UBNT James on the forum, and I've been on the AirMax team for almost 5 years now. The first product I want to talk to you guys about is the PowerBeam Gen 2. This would essentially be the successor for the 400 PowerBeam. Major changes for this model would be the improved mount. It's much more robust. If you saw the previous mount, we had some complaints about how it wasn't so rigid. So we've taken the mounting from some of the larger units and applied it to the 400. Beyond that, we've also added a 2.4 management radio to this unit and to all Gen 2 units and all new units, which allows you to configure and deploy radios from your smartphone or from your tablet while on the tower without having a secondary person or a dedicated laptop. We've also improved the RF internals on this model in particular, so you will see slightly reduced digital noise. And that's mostly to better placement, components, something like that. Moving on, we have the ISO Station M5. This is an isolation horn. As you may or may not know, one of the benefits of a horn design is essentially zero side lobes or zero back lobes. And wide back lobes and side lobes are undesirable. It's the unintended consequences of side lobes. You might be hitting other customers with that, you might be hitting other APs with that noise, and it's just not where you want to direct your RF. So these horns do a very good job of directing your RF. They will be coming with a 45-degree horn antenna, and this is actually a 15 dBi. Oh, that was 14, but it's a 15 dBi antenna. This M5 version doesn't have a management radio. But it does have a gigabit Ethernet port, which is a little bit different for the M5 line. So this will be something you can just sort of remove. And we'll have some aftermarket designs as well that you can just sort of mate onto this die-cast RF puck, I'm calling it. So you could use this as sort of a light access point, I would see this being used as. Same idea for the ISO Station M5. Similar design, or pretty much identical enclosure. Except this is an AC version. This also has a management radio for easy configuration and deployment with our new mobile app. And other than that, you'll have the same options for feed horns. We'll have some asymmetrical feed horns as well for 60 and 90 degree coverage. So that will be kind of neat, and also a smaller 30 degree horn.
And on those asymmetrical horns, those seem new to me.
Yes.
Just the whole concept.
It's excellent. It's excellent.
You spend 20 seconds kind of describing how it's different from the symmetrical horns that other manufacturers have.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of information on the new sectors yet. Okay. I'm still waiting for myself for plots on them. But it will be still typically for like urban deployments. They'll be not your higher gain sectors where you're using them in rural deployment. But the idea is again dense deployments, but more typical wider 90-degree coverage.
Okay. So like it'll sit somewhere between, in terms of gain,
yep.
More than a standard symmetrical where it's a 90 may only be, I'm just throwing numbers out there, 10, 11 dB for everywhere in 90 degree cone. More than that, but less than a 20 dB that you would get from a standard sector.
From the numbers I'm seeing, probably right in that range. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
We will have more info. I should also note that all of the hardware and all of the software we're announcing today, you can go to airmax.ubnt.com, and everything that's new has been listed there. So links to the UCRM, UMobile, air control, links to all the new product pages, the data sheets, quick start guides for all the new stuff. So the next unit I'd like to talk about would be the Nano Beam AC Gen 2. This is essentially a 19, the 19 replacement. What's different than this comparing the Gen 1 would be the 2.4 management radio that's built into this, as with all the new AC models. Improved antenna design. The previous model didn't work as well in the lower uniband because that wasn't necessarily available when it was initially designed. So we've tweaked the design on the antenna, and you should see much better response across the whole band in the on the Nano Beam 19. Also, I should mention we've increased the surge protection on all Gen 2 models on the Ethernet port, so up to 20 amp over current. Moving on to the Rocket AC Gen 2. Pretty much a revision, a slight improvement over the previous Gen 1 model. Major changes being improved RF reception, reduced noise, improved surge protection on the Ethernet port, as mentioned just previously, and then a 2.4 management radio, which might not be as useful as on, say, like a station, but still useful when you're deploying like a new tower. You can still do it quickly from your phone. So that would be the Rocket AC Gen 2 and the 5 gig. One product we didn't talk a whole lot about is a pretty exciting one. It's the Rocket 2 AC. So this is essentially a Rocket Prism in the 2.4 spectrum, and you'll be able to do mixed mode out of the box with this unit. And we are seeing very good reports on performance, in some cases up to doubling the performance on an existing M2 network. So these are very exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting more of these into more people's hands to get more feedback. As far as the AirMax hardware, I'd say that's probably just about it for now.
Okay. So then, on that AC2, are we looking at, obviously, channel width options are limited in the 2.4 band, but are we looking at otherwise comparable specifications and features?
As far as comparing against, like, say, the 5 gig version?
Yeah,
same idea, same AirMax coprocessor. That helps with the AirMax protocol and timing. It also helps supply metrics from any point in the network. It will sort of has a special channel for supplying RF metrics to and from the AP. But as far as everything else, it's got the active RF prism filtering, and I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the major gains in the 2.4 side.
Okay, and something I'm sure some people will ask about, sort of pointing it out, you do see a third connector on both of these radios, and they do have a 3-letter acronym next to them.
Yep.
So there's intent.
So I would like to talk about that a bit more. We do have an alpha of GPS sync on the AC platform right now. We're looking to roll out a public beta in the next 4 weeks. So we've actually given some time and some dates here. And so you should expect to see that in the beta section at most, we'll say most 6 weeks, but we're aiming for 4 weeks. Okay,
and expectations being that it's, whether it's the 2 AC, one available, or 5 gig, it'll work.
So right now, it's going to be 5 gig only out of the box, 5 gig AC only out of the box. We will be doing mixed mode afterwards, and then this will be after mixed mode. I'm not guaranteeing it yet, but this was the direction we're going. We're doing it in smaller steps. We wanted to get the initial framework ready, mixed mode, automatic transmit power control, dynamic sort of priorities. Those are all things we wanted to have ready before doing GPS setting. So.
Those are important things, yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch on software-wise, or is that?
So there's a couple quick things on as far as software. We have UCRM, which is our free customer management platform. You can do things like add customers, packages, no pay holds. Customers can pay themselves, automatic paying, shaping, router agnostic as well. So that's a cool feature. And again, for the low cost of nothing. We also have U-Mobile, which is briefly mentioned is our Android and iOS sort of monitoring and configuration app. We also have revamped Air Control 2. We're removing the Java dependencies, and we've got a new HTML interface that, when it's feature parity with the previous Java client, will then remove the Java client and then add new features to the HTML5 client. So we're making some rapid progress on all software fronts as well.
There is Java as a user, as a desktop application sucks.
Yeah, it's just been challenging, as you probably know. It's things like AirView, they're working, and update breaks we're fixing. So we're just removing that, and we're making it sort of more cross-platform. On a tablet, as long as you've got a modern web browser, you'll be able to access all of those features. One more thing to touch on is, we also have the new AirOS dashboard, which we think is an improvement, and you'll be able to see more clearly the status of your link or your sector, where things might be improved, and the relationship between those settings, capacity, and actual performance.
I just like in the Java world, when I've got some systems that have such an old version of Java, like things that require me to use an old version of Java, that I dislike having things I use regularly having Java, because then now I've got vulnerability problems because I have to run an old version. So just getting rid of Java
It will be great.
is good.
Across the board, all software platforms, that's the target, is to remove any kind of dependencies like that, and do whenever possible using smart web technologies. That's the direction we're heading.
Which makes sense from an increasingly mobile world that doesn't have Java. Even if you're not looking at the other aspects, you can't use it on a phone. So
yeah, important to use it now on a phone versus just having no access or insight at all to your network until you get to a computer. So.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thanks.